All right, so for existing B2B SaaS companies, how to reach escape velocity without external investment or without building a bloated sales team. And we're going to be doing this by utilizing new world leverage. So here's a short quote by Archimedes, a Greek physicist. So give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. We're talking about leverage. Just some quick proof this works. So on the left axis, we have 20 million ARR. So here's one of our SaaS companies that we're partnered with. We joined them around here, sort of Q2 last year. They've quickly hit 8 figures in run rate. Here's another SaaS partner reacting in Slack after we helped them close their dream client. Here's another SaaS partner helping them close 2 customers within a few months of working together. Each one of these customers is worth multi-6 figures. And here's last 30 days of some paid search, a paid search campaign with another SaaS partner as well. Some companies we've helped then, so Instantly, we've helped scale to 8 figures ARR in 15 months, 100% bootstrapped. We help build, optimize, and scale their full funnel growth programs with a CAC payback of less than 1.5 months. If you want to see a video testimonial from Raul, the co-founder, you can see that on our website. Similar story with Social Snowball. So majority of sales pipeline attributed to us within 6 weeks. Help them close deals with leading e-commerce names such as Sharma Brands and True Classic T-shirts. These guys are a 9-figure clothing brand in North America. Again, video testimony on the website. Similar story with Asura, similar story with Juro, and similar story with Wizzo. We've got a written up case study there as well. So some quick background. You're probably thinking, who the hell is this guy making all these claims, which is completely fair. So a quick background on myself. I don't claim to be an expert. On paper, I am a absolutely terrible B2B marketer. I don't have a degree. I don't subscribe to newsletters from influencers to learn the latest news. And I generally find the tech scene quite cringe. Everything I'm sharing in this video, everything I share in general is based on years of first-hand experience in the SaaS space, simply just doing the grunt work, hundreds, possibly thousands of experiments and lessons learned. For what it matters, if you do care, my journey started in the British Army. I joined at 17 because I've always been drawn to a challenge. I actually entered the careers office at 15 because that's the earliest age you could. After badging as a sniper in the army, felt like, I ticked all the boxes. And so I left and I joined the tech scene as an SDR at a high growth cyber tech company, which was acquired for just shy of $800 million. After that, I then joined as one of the first growth hires at an early stage SaaS startup, and I helped lead things across go-to-market. That company grew 2 to 3x every year and is on track for a 9-figure exit. And at that company, I'm a shareholder, but I left a bunch of those unvested shares on the table because, again, I was drawn to challenge and started my own venture. And yeah, just for transparency, I'm not trying to be a big shot here. Those shares definitely weren't rock star money, but enough to tick off the average person's achievements. And throughout all of this time, I've had the pleasure of working with dozens of B2B SaaS companies. I'm long SaaS, if you know me, I'm obsessed about space. Here's a quick testimonial from Chris, who's the founder at Intruder, this company here. Here's a Crunchbase article from the other company getting acquired. Here on the left is a picture of me after a ghillie wash, which is something you have to do to badge as a sniper. And then on the right is a commendation I received from a commanding officer after one of my promotional courses. Okay, now that we're acquainted and you've discovered all the things you don't care about me, so let's talk about you. So if you have an existing product with Dragon Slayer energy, and I'll come on to why this is important, right? If you're looking to rapidly solve product market fit and hit your first $1 million in revenues, if you've already solved product market fit, but you're looking to scale while remaining capital efficient, if you see times like these that we're in right now and we've been in for the last several months as an opportunity to get ahead, if you're willing to be scrappy, lean, and move fast, aka do whatever it takes to reach escape velocity. If you fit the bill, if that sounds like you, then keep watching. However, this will not work for you if you do not have an existing product, you value comfort over speed, or if you do have a product but you doubt its potential, because this required speed and 100% conviction, right? And what I mean by Dragon Slayer type energy is, we're going after market dragons, these guys with all their G2 badges, and this is why you have to have such a good product, right, to win in this market. Okay, so here's the thing. SaaS companies can rapidly solve product market fit, hit their first $1 million in run rate, and reach escape velocity without sacrificing ownership to VC firms or their margins to big tech. However, instead of focusing on outdated strategies of the predictable revenue era, new tech and a new growth model must be adopted, right? By predictable revenue era, I'm talking about this book that most SaaS companies base their growth model on, and it's almost 15 years old. But before we jump into the bulk of what this involves and why that old model is broken, let's take a quick look at what's been happening and understand how these events have led to seismic changes in the marketplace. Now, the long story short is there's been a market purge, and due to the big C, money printing and war in Europe, it's been a chaotic few years, and it continues to be chaotic times. The bubble eventually popped, and budgets now are being more scrutinized than ever. If your product can't be closely linked to the bottom line of another company, or at a very minimum some type of revenue related return on investment, you're not having a fun time right now. It's tough. It's sink or swim. The PR from raising external investments looks great, the champagne parties, and some companies do go on to achieve those big exits and ring the IPO bell, but most companies will not have this outcome. It's few and far between, and especially in this market. Growth targets created to meet the demands of VCs and their limited partners aren't being achieved. And as a result, hundreds of thousands of people, and I'll show you this in a second, have been made redundant. And outside of the tech scene, it's even worse. I'm constantly hiring, and I'd say 60% of job candidates I speak with have been recently hit with layoffs, redundancies. And we can see here, 2023 tech layoffs, a couple of 100,000 people here. Layoffs.fyi, so 1,000 companies, tech companies with layoffs, 240,000 employees laid off in 2023 alone, right? This whole thing started years ago. This is just 2023 alone. And then a quick couple of case studies of, this happening. So this was a fast growing startup in Silicon Valley. They raised, $100 million in cash. They were valuated at over $1 billion. And they went completely bust. Everyone got let go. The company ceased to exist. Similar story with Hopin. So they raised $1 billion. They were valuated at like 7 to 8 billion. And they got acquired for $15 million, right? Again, the bubble popped. People wanted their money back. So companies are gone from growth at all costs, when money's just been chucked, to default alive. This is definition by Paul Graham, YC founder. The ping pong tables and overpriced offices have been sold, right? If it's not directly linked to growing the company, it's been turned off, whether that be people letting them go, marketing campaigns, turn it off if it doesn't have a direct ROI. And so while this market purge has been taking place, companies that did prioritize profits instead of these big investment rounds, instead of these paid PR champagne parties, they've taken advantage of this once in a decade opportunity. And the way they did that was market mastery, right? The first step to escape velocity is market mastery. Right, let's talk about that then. So SaaS companies don't have a traffic problem. They have a conversion problem. Traffic is a commodity that you can literally buy and sell. Just throw money at big tech, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and they'll give you traffic. The issue is that companies struggle to find a profitable access channel and the ability to combine it with message resonance and a conversion mechanism that predictably scales, right? This is Conversion Trinity, a framework I created. So message resonance, conversion mechanism, and access channel. This is what you need for predictable scale. Now, before we go too much further, if you haven't solved product market fit yet, then I recommend following this manual I developed. If you don't have access to it and you're an existing SaaS company, just shoot me a DM and I'll send it over to you. Now, if you have solved product market fit, then you should have already identified your target market, what outcomes they're hoping to achieve, and the price they're willing to pay for those outcomes, and then what vehicle is required to achieve those outcomes, what vehicle is required to take them to that promised land. Now it's about increasing your position in the market even further so attention can be acquired at a discount and customer acquisition costs are lower. Now, new tech can be leveraged here to do this, to uncover those deep audience insights, and that will provide you with ammunition for your growth efforts. Then once that point of resonance is achieved, growth becomes so much easier. Things just start to click, word starts to spread, and a growth flywheel appears. And this is what we're aiming for here, right? The point of resonance. And so the issue is that most companies struggle to reach this point of resonance and truly master their market. Instead, they opt to follow the status quo and just look to competitors for inspiration. And the result is a market filled with product clones, right? We look at like DNA sequences here. We've just got a bunch of clones. We've got the odd company that stands out. But for the most part, we've just got these XXs, right? Everyone looks the same. They have similar features. They have similar pricing. They have similar messaging, and they're all targeting the same people and companies. And so prospective buyers have become numb to this. They've become numb to seeing the same message that's distributed by all the products in the market, and they just switch off, right? And in the UX world, there's a phenomenon called banner blindness, and it's when visitors to a website subconsciously ignore banner-like content, so like these pop-ups, because they've seen it so many times before. And if we go a bit deeper, our brains process roughly 35,000 decisions per day, right? And they're constantly analyzing information via our senses, and they're deeming whether that information is a threat to our existence or not, right? We're animals. And so new information gets more attention because we haven't analyzed it before and it could be a threat. In contrast, similar or repetitive information gets ignored as it's already been given the all clear. Now, how does this relate to marketing, and why am I going off on this tangent about our brains? It's because if you continue to use the same message and tactics as everyone else, you significantly increase your chances of being ignored, regardless of how good your product is. If you can't capture attention, and that's really the crux of marketing is attention, it's a game of attention, you will fail to prospect into cold audiences. And so this means less clicks, it means less attention, and it means less conversions, right? And the law of shitty click-throughs, it's not a real law, but you can look it up. There's information out there about it. And it just tells us that these new marketing tactics, as more products in the market adopt them, the performance of those tactics tanks, right? Because people get used to seeing it. There was once upon a time when you could put an opt-in pop-up on your website and it would have a massive click-through rate or conversion rate, right? Because people hadn't seen it before. Now, every website has that. And so buyers have become numb to it. And so the effect of them, has fallen through the floor. And so we need to find that nerve, right? We need to find that burning pain point the market has, and we need to deliver a transformation to the market so good that your lean team of sales reps are working into the evenings to earn extra commission because their calendars are absolutely rammed due to the demand. And so if you want to master your market, you need to get obsessively clear on what those pain points are and what vehicle is required to take your customers to the promised land, right? Your vehicle is the product. It's the mechanism that delivers that promise. And so there's no better way to obtain these insights, to understand what your market cares about, than by just speaking to your market, go into the source of truth. And so you need to be conducting voice of customer interviews, distribute surveys, and you need to scratch beneath the surface to uncover the underlying challenges, desires, and fears that motivate people to buy products like yours. You need to dig deep. You need to uncover their current situation. Where are they right now? You need to understand their current tools, their current KPIs, gaps, processes. You need to understand their motivations, their frustrations, desires, and pains. You then need to understand where are they hoping to get to? Where is the delta between where they are right now and where they're hoping to get to? And what are the emotions and logic attached to that outcome, right? Have a bunch of SOPs here on how to conduct this properly. Don't treat it as a checkbox exercise. If you want access to any of these, just shoot me a message and I'll send them over, right? Really, really, really important. And so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find the watering holes, the locations of where your target audience congregates on the internet. And then we use message mining to pull the specific syntax they use to describe their problems and desires. And then the syntax that we pull from this process, we can then transform into the headlines, the hooks and angles for our marketing experiments, right? This is what we're going after. Where are those watering holes on the internet where your target audience congregates? Sometimes it's public forums, public platforms, sometimes it's private communities. The more private it is, the juicier the information you're going to get. And I have a YouTube video on my channel somewhere going into depth on this, like a 40-minute video. And so you can leverage new tech to pull insights from this research. Information is only good if it transforms into insights. Insights is where the bulbs start flashing, where things start to click, right? You need to stop doing things the old way. This is what prevents people from doing this, is they just see it as a lot of effort. It's one of the highest leverage things you can do is speak to your market. And so when you're doing this, you'll have clarity, you'll have those light bulb moments going. That's when you can then develop a message and a solution, distribute it to your market to validate whether it hits a nerve, right? So you're doing the research, you're coming up with a hypothesis. This is what I think they care about. This is the message I'm going to deliver and solution. validate it through distribution. If it hits the nerve, you'll know it. If you don't, go back to step one and repeat. So then we go into full funnel distribution, right? Finding message resonance is just one piece of the puzzle. Distribution is what pays the bills and keeps everyone happy, right? There's no better validation than revenue. And companies are stuck in the old model of doing this, right? They just raise loads of capital, hire a large sales team using the predictable revenue playbook for push distribution, and just throw money and people at problems and hope they go away. Now, don't get me wrong, although I'm throwing a bit of shade at this model, it does work. There are companies that are absolutely killing it using this model, but it's time consuming, it's expensive, and it requires a lot of people. It's also a model best suited for linear growth, and it promotes short-term thinking, right? This is why there's such a disconnect between marketing and sales, because they're going after MQLs, they're going after leads, this push distribution model, which ultimately doesn't lead to the sales velocity these companies need to grow. And so go-to-market leaders will forecast future growth based on reps quotas, right? They'll forecast growth based on the number of sales reps they have. And so if you want to double your revenue next year, you just hire double the amount of sales reps and just put a number on their shoulders. You'll hit that number and everything's good, right? In theory, that's how it's supposed to work. But in reality, only a top % of those reps hit their quota, and the rest just get churned and burned, and the company's growth targets don't get hit. And then this cycle just repeats, right? New team members get put in place. They hope they don't make the same mistakes as their predecessors. And customer lifetime value is just sacrificed on acquiring customers because the company is just burning through their runway, operating in the old model. And if you take a look at any high growth SaaS company that's achieved big numbers in a short space of time, they did not have linear growth. They had exponential growth where the outputs greatly outweighed the inputs, right? Linear growth is like 1.1. 1 + 1 = 2, right? I get more sales reps, I get more revenue. Whereas exponential is 1 + 1 = 11, right? Look at the delta here. Look at any high growth SaaS company who has grown, done big numbers in a short space of time. They've had exponential growth. And as a side note, I've never met a single SaaS founder who has enjoyed having a big sales team, right? I've spoken with hundreds of SaaS founders by this point, right? And these large sales teams purely exist because having a large sales team has been seen as a necessity to grow. This is Adam, founder of Retention, 20 million ARR, bootstrapped SaaS company. And he publicly said his SaaS company's growth sped up when they reduced their sales team from 15 to 4 reps, right? And that's because the future is lean and fast, with exponential growth being prioritized, not linear growth. These massive sales teams are no longer required. You just need a few A+ reps who are required to manage some lead generation efforts and have their calendars absolutely rammed with meetings generated by marketing. Okay, this is a new way of distribution. Single inputs leading to several outputs, exponential growth. And AI is replacing entire sales development departments because one person can now do the job of 6 to 8 full-time reps. And it's not just about leveraging this new tech, it's about an entirely new way of operating. And I can talk about this because I used to be an SDR. My KPI was 50 emails and calls per day. I would spend 5 to 10 minutes hyper personalizing emails because that's what I was told to do. And, that was the way, all to achieve like a 1% reply rate. And this just isn't enough anymore. This isn't enough to generate results. You will generate results, but not the results needed to sustain fast growth. And because every software company out there is using this model, they all have teams of SDRs. They're all following the predictable revenue playbook. And so commenting on what university your prospect went to, or a recent blog post by the company, just isn't enough, right? This hyper personalization is a waste of time. Cold outbound 3.0 is far more effective and cost efficient, right? Fewer inputs, far greater outputs. You don't have to spend 10 minutes personalizing emails to get a 1% reply rate. Less time input, and you're getting far greater results as well. You can see a campaign here. So this was a fresh campaign. I think we were just actually through the ramp up period. So you can see 5,000 emails sent, 9.7 reply rate, 20 opportunities generated. And the ACV, average contract value for this company, started at 20K, went all the way up to 100, 200, 300K, right? So just to help you quantify the value, completely outperform their SDR team. This company down here, so 166 opportunities generated. ACV started at 5K for these guys. Again, went up to 100, 200, 300K, depending on who they closed the deal with. And you might be thinking, okay, well, you're just sending more emails. You're probably spammy, they're probably crap, right? And that's not the thing. Here we can see we're getting complimented by a sales rep, hard audience to please, getting positive responses from head of departments at WPP, which is a massive company in Europe, publishing company, getting replies from HSBC, which is obviously a bank, getting in front of high quality leads, sending high performing emails. It's not just about sending more volume. And as I said here, so yeah, these results are generated in just a few weeks of launching fresh campaigns on fresh sending accounts. Company at the top, ACV 20K, ACV 5K for the image on the bottom one. And this is all while spending only a few hours per week on campaigns. This is not take full-time effort to focus on these, really only a few hours per week to get those up and running. And the all-in operating cost for Cold Outbound 3.0 is 10 times cheaper than the current way of doing things, right? And that's without including salaries. If you want to include salaries, that's circa multi six figures per year you're saving, right? So at the top, we've got Cold Outbound 3.0. We can see the recurring monthly cost, £331. Cold Outbound 2.0, the old way of doing things, monthly recurring cost, you're looking at like $3,500. Again, this is like software infrastructure only. This does not include full-time salaries, right? If you want to include that, multi six figures saved per year. And this is the high-level system of setting it up that enables these companies to send tens of thousands of emails per month. More importantly, getting hundreds of positive replies, interested leads per month. We've done it time and time again. And that high-level success criteria for this Cold Outbound 3.0 system is you want to maintain good deliverability with secondary domains and inbox rotation. You want to use verified data from cost-effective and trusted providers. You do not need to be using 10, 15, 20,000 pounds per year data providers. They all get it from the same place. 3C framework for writing good emails, compliment case study call to action. Shout out to Alex Berman. AI inbox management saves dozens of hours per month. You do not need people sitting in the inbox waiting for emails all day. And a bulletproof follow-up process. Cliche as hell, but the money is in the follow-ups. You need to be able to follow up efficiently. You need to be saying the right things. You need to be on top of all your leads to not let them fall through the cracks. Now, although I've spent the last few minutes talking about Cold Outbound 3.0, let me keep it real with you. It is not a golden ticket. It is not a Hail Mary. Prospects' inboxes are busier than ever. This is just an effective method of push distribution. It requires high volume if you want it to work, and the basics still apply. You must have an offer that the market wants, and you must know how to write copy, right, which is sales in written format. It's not a Hail Mary. You still need to have something the market wants, right? And this is why you need to have that Dragon Slayer type product. And outbound is just one piece of the big puzzle, right? If you take a look at companies who have smashed it out of the park, these high growth, exponential growth SaaS companies, they're everywhere. They're not just doing outbound, they're everywhere. And if you need a hand with it, doing any of this, meetwithliam.com. So we can see G from Lempire, 9-figure SaaS company. His face is everywhere. If you go on LinkedIn, YouTube, he's on all organic channels. This is Niels from Instantly. Again, creating good content, building awareness, and it just considers the modern buyer's journey, right? We're not just opening our emails and clicking ads and buying software, right? We're going everywhere to find our information. You can see on Twitter as well, and then of course Adam on LinkedIn. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't want to write content. I don't know how to write content. I definitely don't want to film videos. I'm an introvert, or that's just something that doesn't interest me. That's no problem. It's not an excuse nowadays. Looking at Hype Fury Instantly, they've got full-time creators creating these videos on their behalf. Shout out to Jake, who's managing a lot of this. We've got Cognism down here with a full-time creator. And I think this is Lemlist here as well, right? The founders, the senior execs do not need to be on camera, right? It's just not needed nowadays. Bonus if you can be, but it's not needed. And so as ad platforms get more expensive and the algorithms change, it's best to hedge your bets across multiple channels to try achieve message channel fit. And this is not only for risk, but also for profitability, right? Paid ads can be expensive. And so if you can't validate something to a warmer audience, like an audience you own, whether that be in a community, whether that be your LinkedIn followers, Twitter followers, if you can't validate something to them, then you're going to really struggle to validate that offer, that message, that solution to colder traffic, right? Because the warmer audience know you, they like you, hopefully they trust you, right? Cold audience, very hard to please, and so if you can't validate it with the warmer audience, you're going to have a hard time with colder audience. And then when you find that nerve, then you can scale it with paid traffic. And so that's what we did here. Here's a couple of campaigns, 2-step funnel on the left, YouTube ads on the right, taking the same big idea, distributing it in multiple formats. Here's 2 million impressions on a single ad creative, so not a campaign, not an ad set, a single ad creative, 2 million impressions. Here's our keep it stupid simple campaign structure. We've got a cold layer, warm layer. Feel free to message me if you want to learn more. And here's a high level sort of breakdown of our paid acquisition programs, how we set up testing, how we scale them, everything systemized to a T. And so you need to be distributing your sales argument in different formats, test at different angles until you hit that nerve. And then when you find that nerve, hammering it home with full funnel distribution. And as I said here, one single idea can be turned into several assets. You just need to find what idea, what angle resonates most with the market, find that nerve. And so by the time prospects hop on a call with you in this new model, they're already warm, they're already educated, and that's due to a parasocial relationship that's been formed. Rather than your sales team fighting for scraps on cold prospects, they're now telling your marketing team or you as a founder or an exec, they're telling you to slow down because so much demand is being generated, the sales calls are eating into their evenings, right? That's kind of the result of this. And so talking about your sales argument a bit more, it is absolutely everything, right? It serves as the source of truth for your growth efforts. It's what you use to attract cold audiences. It's what you use to convert warm leads. And then it can even be used to onboard new team members, right? It's dynamic. It's continually updated as feedback from the market and algorithm arise. It is a living, breathing organism. It's not a point-in-time exercise. It's not a static PDF. It's an organism that you always need to be updating. And your sales argument, it transforms into your headlines, your emails, adverts, your Google Docs, your videos, your sales scripts. It is the result of your market research and it is your product's existence, right? That's how you form these hypotheses that you then go on to build a solution and deliver a message. And as we can see here, this is the loop, right? Your sales argument transforms into your headlines, your marketing arguments. You then get feedback from the algorithm and your market, and then you surface that feedback and then you update your sales argument, right? It's this ongoing loop, never stops, living organism. And so over time, you have an army of these virtual sales reps that are distributing your sales argument 24/7, 365. They're not taking sick days, they're not taking holidays, and the results only compound over time as the world moves away from, traditional search methods to other platforms for information, right? It's a great deal, right? You don't have to deal with the people problems, no holidays, no sick days, always selling, and the results only compound. And so even your outbound efforts are boosted because before responding to or deleting your email, prospects are researching you and your company, right? They receive a cold email from someone. They're like, who the hell is this? Why should I trust them? They're probably a scammer. And so what they're doing is they're going to your website, they're going to your YouTube channel, they're going to your LinkedIn profile. They're going to do all these things before they give you their hard-earned money, or if they're an employee, before they put their neck on the line to work with you, they're going to do their research, right? And so if you're distributing useful content, it instantly positions you as an authority figure and it establishes credibility with them. If you had two companies, company A, company B, they're both making the same claims. They both have the same product, but company A has been absolutely obsessing over the same topic and adding value to the market for an extended period of time, and they back up those claims with proof, then company A or product A is going to win every single time. And it doesn't even come close. All right, so reach and escape velocity. So you've achieved market mastery, full funnel distribution. It's now, you found the nerve and you've hit it with a hammer. Now it's about swapping that hammer for a jackhammer, right? Squeezing the market for as much juice as possible. That's how you're going to reach escape velocity. So in general, you want to be constantly updating the sales argument. It's a living organism, not a checkbox exercise. You always need to be speaking to the market, keeping a temperature check, seeing what's going on and updating that sales argument. On the outbound sales side, so you need a SEAL Team 6 of operators, hunters of leads, people going out there, incentivized to get results, right? And you want ideally an in-house team of SDRs on emails, LinkedIn, and calls, leveraging the Cold Outbound 3.0 model. If you can't afford in-house SDRs just yet, then you can use performance-based reps if you can't afford those full-time reps. But again, with this new model, you do not need large teams. You literally need like 1 or 2 reps and they can manage everything together, even on a part-time basis. You want to be calling leads within minutes. If you're using these front-end offers like lead magnets or webinars or anything of that nature, if people are opting in, you want to be establishing that relationship with them right away. Have an SLA in place so they're being followed up with. Content-based outreach to get those micro commitments and build awareness. Not everybody is ready to buy software, especially if your ACV is on the higher mark, right? And so build awareness with the audience that aren't in market right yet. And you don't want to do this with blogs, just sending random blogs to people over email and LinkedIn. People don't really care about them. You want to be sending sales assets. And I don't mean, a PDF just filled with a pitch. I mean, content that adds value, educates the market, it builds awareness, but at the same time, it's also positioning your product as the faster, more proven path, right? That's why they're called sales assets. On the pull side, so you want to be using full funnel distribution, so that army of digital sales reps. One idea can be turned into several pieces of content. It's all about trying to find that nerve. You want push and pull performance marketing. So on the push side, it's like paid social. On the pull side, it's paid search. You want to have a bulletproof ad creative feedback loop. You want to get this down to a science. This is something we've worked on a lot internally. Ad creative is one of the biggest levers when it comes to paid performance marketing, right? You want to be constantly analyzing your creatives, find those winning variables, and then use those to create more winning ad creatives. And this is a continuous loop. Rapid testing, so always be testing. The algorithm is going to tell you what works. It's going to tell you what the market likes and doesn't like, right? All you have to do is listen to it. You want to use cold-friendly offers to attract colder or less aware audiences. If you don't know what this is, I talk about it in my other videos. Happy to elaborate if you message me. And everything is copywriting, right? Copywriting isn't just words. It's about understanding your audience on a deep level. The words are really just the final output, right? And get to obsess over this conversion heuristic by Mech Labs, right? It gives us a good thought framework for understanding what it takes to convert buyers, right? I'll talk about this in other videos as well. And so on the operations side, we want to have an always on hiring funnel. We should always be hiring, especially if you're an executive or founder, always be selling, always be hiring, right? To attract A+ talent. We want people to be coming to us because they want to work with our company because we're doing such great things. Everyone's talking about us and they want to be aboard that rocket ship. We want a bulletproof onboarding process, setting these people up for success. We want expert training and resources. We always need to be leveling up the team, especially as you scale. It's going to be the team growing the company, not just yourself. And we want German-like engineering, bulletproof operations, right? Documenting everything, building SOPs, standard operating procedures, like this paid acquisition program here, right? Everything. If you're doing something more than once, document it, right? Try to systemize those low-level tasks as much as possible and try to minimize the room for human error and bias. Scientific scaling, so I talk about this a lot in other videos. So we want to achieve data mastery. We want to identify those bottlenecks, especially when you're generating a bunch of demand. You're going to have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, engaging with your funnel every month. There's going to be leaks. And so with data mastery, you're going to have visibility into where those are. So then you can fix them. Continuous growth sprints. So we want to research qualitative, quantitative data. We then want to hypothesize. We then want to validate whether those hypotheses are correct or not. And regardless if it's a losing experiment or sprint or if it's a winning one, you can always learn from it, right? Always ask, why did this happen? If it's a loss or a win. Multi-funnel testing. So this is more on sort of innovative side. On the product side, research and development, we always want to be looking for that edge, always building that moat, right? Staying ahead of the competition. On the analytics side, we want visibility into what's happening inside the product. So identifying those key activation drivers, those milestones, what steps do people have to take inside the product to see success and stick around. And then sales process and operations. So we want to derive our sales script from the dynamic sales argument, right? And I've put no script robots here because you don't want people hopping on sales calls and just, reading a script. You want them to be human. We don't want robots, but you need structure around this, right? Your sales argument is everything. It tells you about your market. It tells you what they care about, and it tells you, what your value proposition should be based on those insights. We want solid pre and post call flows to improve your conversions, minimizing those funnel leaks as much as possible. And for our sales reps, we want product experts and ruthless closers. This is why sales reps that sell coaching programs and information products struggle in SaaS, because They just focus on the frame side of closing too much, right? They're frame robots. We need product experts, people who understand your product on a deep level and effectively communicate its value propositions, right? And so we need people who actually understand software and have some kind of technical competence. And then a watertight CRM, right? Again, trying to minimize those funnel leaks as much as possible. Okay, so final thoughts. So the days of needing external capital and a large team to grow are over, right? You need to acquire specific knowledge. You need to adapt to the new tech that's out, and you need to become a master of attention, right? This is how companies are achieving exponential growth. And if you achieve this, you're going to have companies or investors coming to you, right? They're going to be begging to be on your cap table and get a seat on the rocket ship, right? And if you need that investment to grow, then that's fine. But now it's going to be on your terms. You're going to be coming from a position of abundance, right? They're coming to you. And your product becomes the hot girl or guy in school or town that, everyone wants to date, right? People are going to be wanting to work with you. Investors are going to want to invest. Everyone's going to want to get a seat. But here's the thing, right? All of this information like this document and the tactics I've taught through are readily available on the internet, right? Just like traffic, information is a commodity. You can learn anything. If you want to learn a new language, if you want to learn to drive, if you want to learn how to build engines, there's information out there that will teach you all of that. What separates or what stops people from achieving those things is action, right? And if information was enough to get ahead, we'd all be billionaires by now. We'd all speak 10 different languages. We'd all know rocket science. And the roadmap is simple, but it's not easy. And everything I've talked through in this document, everything I talk through in general is based on first-hand experience, actually working in SaaS companies inside the industry and now working with them as a trusted partner, with DigiSeed and other companies. And it's all based on practical experience, not theory. Now, if you're looking for a more proven, faster route to reach that escape velocity, then book a call with me and let's talk. So you can do meetwithliam.com or my Calendly links here. There'll be one in the description. If you're looking to find that nerve, if you're looking to squeeze the market for more juice, if you're looking to find and hire that A+ talent to help you scale, if you're looking to be the next SaaS company that everyone's talking about and everyone wants to work with, and if you're also looking to work with a team that just gets it, to quote one of our partners, then book a call and we can discuss everything in more detail. Again, the link will be in the description. I'll show you how to reach escape velocity and deploy the playbook that we've deployed for dozens of SaaS companies. Some quick testimonials from our clients, from some clients before I leave you here. Instantly co-founder, Steve, COO Wizzer, Chris, founder. Right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to reach escape velocity, there'll be a link in the description. See ya.